Does the Bible forbid Christmas trees? This is a question we hear a lot around this time of year. And people who believe the Bible prohibits Christmas trees usually get that idea from Jeremiah chapter 10. So let's look at those verses together and see why people might believe this. Jeremiah 10, 2 through 4. Do not learn the ways of the nations or be terrified by signs in the heavens, though the nations are terrified by them. For the practices of the peoples are worthless. They cut a tree out of the forest, and a craftsman shapes it with his chisel. They adorn it with silver and gold. They fasten it with hammer and nails, so it will not totter. And 9 times out of 10, the verse reference stops right there. And if I'm being honest, if I took these verses at face value, I probably wouldn't have a Christmas tree up at my house right now. But that isn't how the Bible is supposed to be read. One of the main words to remember when studying the Bible, and you're going to hear this word a lot on Know Your Bible, is context. A verse makes more sense when you understand the chapter that it's in. The chapter makes more sense when you understand the book. And then following that logic, true understanding comes when you see the verse or verses in context with God's whole word. That's why studying the whole Bible is so important. One of the first things to note is that the account in Jeremiah takes place about 900 years before the establishment of the Christmas holiday as we know it. So it couldn't be referencing Christmas trees. Going further, if you read the rest of the chapter and the rest of the book, you realize that God is warning His people not to worship idols. The people around Israel, the non-Jewish people, were taking trees, carving them, decorating them, and then bowing down to them as if they were gods. That's what God calls worthless. The issue isn't the tree, it's the worship of the tree as a god. The Bible calls that idolatry. So the Bible doesn't prohibit using a tree for decoration or for celebration. The problem comes if the tree, or anything else for that matter, becomes an object of worship or replaces God in your heart. God cares about our hearts more than our decorations. This is a theme we see repeated often in the Bible, especially in the Old Testament. There are a lot of modern things that can become idols. Around the holidays, we have to be careful not to idolize money or possessions. But my guess is most of us are probably safe when it comes to Christmas trees. So enjoy your Christmas tree, enjoy the season, but keep your eyes on Jesus. He's the reason for anything we celebrate. And the Bible calls us to worship Him and Him alone. For Know Your Bible, I'm Jeff Martin.
To learn more about the Bible or get your questions answered, visit us at knowyourbible.com.